Hey everybody, it's Romania Black. We are on episode 9 of Free Eternal Summer. And this series, last episode, Mako. Just pure Mako. Episode 5, Nagisa came through and showed us that he was more than just a ball of sunshine. He had personality, he had backstory, he had his own set of worries and trepidations. And then Mako comes in this last episode and is like, oh, you're a ray of sunshine. I'm a freaking cinnamon roll. It's just like, by the end of it, I was like, Mako, I didn't know I had these feelings for your character, but I kind of do. So I really liked the last episode a lot. And from the preview, it looks like if last episode was like all sunshine and rainbows and cinnamon and meeting Kasumi, this new character, this episode looked really dark in the previews. So I'm curious. It looked very Haru-centered, and Haru's been going through a lot of angst and turmoil this last several episodes because he can't figure out what he's going to do after high school. Rin's kind of poking him to go pro with him or try to go pro with him. Mako seems to be finding his place, post high school. Maybe he might become a swim coach there with the coach there for Iwatobi. Everybody seems to be finding out plans for themselves or having some kind of plan, except for Haru. And I feel for him because it sucks when you don't know exactly what you want to do after high school. I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but I had a lot of friends that they had no clue. They were like, I don't know what I'm going to do after high school. So his concerns are very valid, and they're concerns that lots of people have. So I feel for him, and I don't know what the resolution is going to be. So that has me curious for this episode. But you guys, oh my gosh, Free. This season, I really hope we see more of Kasumi. I hope we see more of him. More characters in general. I commented to somebody on Patreon. I was like, we have Samazuka and we've been introduced to Momo and Sosuke, and they've been so refreshing and such great additions to the cast that I want Iwatobi to have that same sense of freshness come there, because I love our 4 boys, the Fab 4 for life, ride or die, but for the sake of Nagisa and Rei, we need some more characters. So we shall see, I guess. But yeah, episode 9, Forming of Disruption. That sounds interesting. But we're going to start episode 9 here. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoy the reaction. We're going to start that here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Oh my gosh. So, Haru getting me all in the feels this episode. So Haru is such an interesting protagonist in terms of he's hard to read. He's not dumb. He's not aloof. He's just a quiet, introverted person. And he just has a lot of anxiety about the pressure of competition. And he really channels that anxiety. And he's most at ease when he's swimming. But I commented on it a couple episodes ago that I feel Haru's afraid that he's going to be like Rin and he's going to burn out having other people tell him what to do and having to live for someone else's dream. Because for a long time, Rin was living for his father's dream. He's like, I'm going to be just like my dad. I'm going to live out his dream and be a pro swimmer. And he got burnt out because he couldn't make the cut of the expectations that were put in front of him. And I feel in part that Haru thinks that same thing's going to happen, that the thing he loves the most, swimming, is going to be something that he gets burnt out on. And that's his only big passion. Even though he's good at drawing, even though he's good at cooking, being in the water is where he's most comfortable. And so I feel like he internalizes all that anxiety towards competition. And that whole scene with all of the scouts being puppets and being creepy, that was just probably the creepiest thing in Free so far I've seen. But here's the thing. Haru is being a little bit selfish. A little bit. Like, I get where Haru's coming from, and I get that anxiety and him not wanting... He just wants to swim with his friends and do it for fun, but he doesn't necessarily want to make a career out of it, and he doesn't like that people are trying to push him towards something that he's not comfortable with. I totally get that. But here's the rub. Him and Sosuke are like two sides of a coin. Because Haru is struggling with the fact that he has the talent, he has the ability. If he wanted to, he could go and be a pro swimmer. I have no doubt. I think if he wanted to, he could do it. Sosuke wants to do it. Sosuke wants to swim. But right now it's very clear that he can't. Like, his body is at its limits and there's something wrong. And that whole thing about Sosuke being scouted, like this injury. And man, this episode played up that injury. He was all over that shoulder. Now that it's out in the open, he is favoring that thing, and we, the audience, are going to full on know that there's a problem. I'm amazed that Rin hasn't connected the dots. I'm amazed, but maybe Rin's just in denial about it. But that last shot of Sosuke in the shower, like, and his shoulder's red from where it's probably, like, got inflammation on it, is, oh. And it's just, Sosuke wants to swim professionally, I'm sure, and he wants to go to university and swim, but he can't. And Haru has the ability to very much do this professionally, but he doesn't want to. So it's like total opposites. All I want is for Haru and Sosuke to like come together and talk it out and be like, look, we're not so different, you and I, but we have very clear, I mean, we are different, but we're not so different that we can't get along. And man, just, that was rough. At least he's going to swim the relay, and I'm sure help his teammates out. Makoto, this episode, there's so much that happened in this episode. Makoto and Rin, I didn't realize I wanted more of that conversation in the hotel room between Mako and Rin. I wanted more of that, because we don't get a lot of just Mako-Rin interactions, and I feel like Mako is a good foil for Rin because Mako's so calm. But Mako's also very emotional. He's just a calm emotional. And Rin's a very exuberant emotional. So, and Rin brought up a good point. He's like, you could be scouted too. I mean, even though Mako didn't make it to finals in the individual, there's still a chance he could be scouted by a college. Absolutely. So, and I wonder too if Mako's like, look, Haru, you know, some of us wish we had your talent so that we could be scouted like you are, but we don't. So why would you waste that? It's a gift. It's not anything. It's not a burden. Don't treat it like it's a burden. Use it as an opportunity. And then Nagisa and Rei, I love that Nagisa was so happy that Notori was going to be competing against him and calling him So-chan, even though Rei's like, that's not right. He doesn't even approve of it. And then Notori working his butt off, Sosuke helping him. And see, like, the whole thing with Sosuke and Haru helping Rei and Sosuke helping Notori get better as swimmers. Like they're not so different. They do a lot of similar things. They're both broody, angsty characters. Just Sosuke is an intimidating angsty, and Haru is an introverted angsty. It's like, ugh. And Rin's an emotional angsty. It's like, But I like that Notori worked so hard to get where he's at. And we haven't seen him compete yet. But it's like, Notori just, I want him to get all the friend awards, and he's just the underdog I root for. I love him so much in this series. And then, yeah, the Mitsushiba, that captain, I love that he's still around. I was afraid at the start of the season that was the last we saw of him. That was like, oh, he's graduated and we'll never see him again. But no, I'm glad that he stuck around, that he brought his university scout with him, that he gave Momo the encouragement, that Momo, bless his heart, Momo's slowly, it might be Stockholm Syndrome, but Momo's growing on me a little bit. I'm like, his over-exuberance. I'm like, you're kind of growing on me. You're kind of getting, I'm okay with you now. Just tone it down. Tone it down for Ghost's sake. But yeah, that elevator scene being so awkward. But you know, those scenes happen in real life where I can't tell you, I've been in an elevator because I used to do competitive speech, and you're in an elevator with somebody you don't really know or that you don't particularly care for, and you're just kind of awkwardly standing there, and it's like, what do we do? Like, I know that feeling, so that was palpable, but man, just Haru, buddy. It's okay that you haven't decided what you want to do with your future. It's totally okay that he hasn't decided. But I'm like, he's just hurting himself by letting it, like, get to him so much. And Rin's trying to snap him out of it, but it's like, and Mako's tried to snap him out of it. I just, I feel like they need a one-on-one. They all need an intervention with him. But it looks like we're back to the trees. Sosuke and Rin, part 2, episode 4. We had a tree moment, and now we're back to it again. I feel bad for Sosuke because it would be awful to want something like he does, like to swim and everything, and then for it to be to no fault of his own be taken away from him. But man, I'm like the cats. I kept thinking Rin was gonna spill the beans about Sosuke to him, but it looks like that's not gonna be the case. It's not even gonna have to be Haru and Mako telling. Rin's just gonna find out. And I'm assuming it's gonna be in the relay because he couldn't even get through practice, and he was in the shower there post practice, like. And he was holding his shoulder while Rin was competing, and then he left with Haru, which I thought that was hilariously petty. He's like, he didn't even stick around to watch Haru. He just left, which means he didn't see Haru stop, so he's not privy to that information yet. So, oh guys, we have 13 episodes this season, so we still have 10, 11, 12. We still have 4 episodes left, but we are setting so much up. I commented a little ways back that one of the things I really like about this show, a couple episodes back I commented, but one of the things I really like about the show is that we're actually following these characters through high school. Because a lot of anime, it's just like, oh, this entire series is going to be 1 year of high school. Or we'll finish high school and then we'll time skip like 5 years in the future. And we don't get that, like, it's rare for me to watch an anime where we actually start the second year. Like, we start the next year and it's continuous. Like, it's rare, I think, for an anime that all the ones I've watched to show us that. So I think that's really cool. But I'm really curious, like, what are we going to do? Because it's regionals. And so far, nobody's made regionals. Nobody's made nationals yet. So maybe we'll come through in the relay. Maybe we can make the relay to nationals. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know. But I'm curious to your thoughts below. Please, no spoilers. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this reaction. I'm curious to know what you guys think, too, about our angsty dolphin and our angsty shark. This season's been so good, and I can't wait for episode 10. So, in the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe and take care. And I'll be back next week with more free Eternal Summer. Bye.